Hello everyone, I'm Varuna Gunasekara. I represent Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited. Today I'll be presenting regarding my abstract automation of laboratory report management system via the SAP ERP system. First of all, I would like to thank the CINEC campus for giving me this opportunity. A bit about Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited. Ceylon Petroleum Storage Terminals Limited, or CPSTL, can be defined as the petroleum logistics company in Sri Lanka's downstream petroleum industry. CPSTL performs all the supply chain and logistics operations with respect to the two marketing companies, Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Lanka IOC PLC. We operate around the country with 2 oil installations and 12 island-wide bulk depots. All the 95% of the petroleum supply chain operations are being handled by CPSTL. So this includes ERP operations as well as the petroleum laboratory reports. This is the supply chain of the downstream petroleum industry. The oil is being replenished via 2 tanker terminals, one at the Colombo port and one at Muthurajavela. So with respect to the laboratory practices currently, or which used to do at CPSTL, were basically manually performed activities which have been operational for decades. So they are being prepared manually, they are being filed up on a paper files. Basically they are circulated, they used to be circulated via fax and photocopies. So if you look at the drawbacks of the existing system, was like it did not have any reporting ability, it lacked security, it lacked any backup, it lacked any authentication. Then it was really hard for any particular analysis because all of them were on hard copies at the best at the Microsoft Excel level. So they had a difficulty in circulating like in a proper method using emails or a proper delegated system. So they didn't have any form of systematic sample management system. They didn't have any form of vendor evaluation system. So this was the way it was. So what we proposed with the system is to streamline the existing CPST laboratory report generation system with the existing SAP ERP system. So our target area was to handle the import tanker laboratory reports, the show tank reports, the maintenance of third-party reports which are being done by CPSTL on behalf of others. Then to have the access of load port reports, that is the laboratory reports of the oil tankers received from foreign countries, that is the loading port, the reports given at the loading port. And then we wanted to come up with the import cargo reports via the SAP ERP system. Then on the sidelines, we needed to enhance the communication about the laboratory reports among CPSTL user functions, the stakeholders, and even the public. Then we wanted to enhance the security and the standard of the laboratory reports maintenance. Then we wanted the laboratory reports and specifications to be available in a digital format. So this is one of the user interfaces in SAP ERP system, which gives almost access to all the reports that have been developed as been discussed in my abstract. It's basically called as LRMS. It starts with load port reports, then we've got the laboratory report sample and the reporting capabilities all in one particular dashboard. So with respect to the load port reports, this is a sample for the load port report which is being taken or produced at a foreign location where the load port is. So this is the development we have come up with. Once you receive that particular information, we have given a provision to upload that particular report to the SAP ERP system so that anybody who is using the SAP ERP system will have the access to the load port report. Load port report is the first report you will find in the downstream petroleum industry, where the first report we generate before the tanker reaches Sri Lankan shores. This is the only report that we have regarding the oil tanker load. So that has been circulated by email. So we have taken it up to a specific location in the SAP ERP system. Then regarding the CPSTL laboratory reports generation, first of all, before generating any kind of reports, we have to upload the particular specifications that has these chemical functions, that is the octane number and all those specifications that you find in a typical petroleum report. So in here, this allows a particular specification to be uploaded to the system. So in a way, it will provide support for the specifications, provide support for report generation, as well as it will keep in as a history of the specification changes that takes place in Sri Lanka's downstream petroleum industry. So this is the sample of the product specification report. So these are the particular parameters and the test methods that are being used, and the units of measurement, and some kind of details about the specification. So these kind of stuff were never there before in a digital format. So it has been digitalized or automated. So once the specifications are there, we are going to come up with the digitalization of reports. So this is what the previous reports used to look like, although they've been printing this on corporate letterheads. Still the test results were entered manually. So this is the new digital interface we have done with SAP. So we have maintained the tanker references, and we have got materials and the product names and all the rest of it in the ERP system. So what we have done is we have integrated the tanker details, and we have incorporated the laboratory test results. So this is how the new report looks like. I'm sure you remember how it used to look like. Now this report will come as an PDF, system generated PDF document. So it will be much more flexible. So this is how the show tank reports used to look like. Show tanks in the sense, while once the oil tanker load is unloaded to the show tanks, that is the tanks in the land area, tanks in Kolonau, tanks in Muthurajawala. So they go after transferring the product, they are subject to a particular laboratory test. So this is how the manual tests used to look like. Now this is the show tank laboratory reports, how they look like, and again it's a PDF system automatically generated laboratory report with a sample reference generated via the system. So as we talked about, we have revamped the reporting capabilities of the system, which we never used to have in the manual days. So this is one of the major reports, that is imported cargo reports. What are the details of the vendors and the tankers and the dates and the references to the lab reports of whatever the petroleum products that are being imported to the country for a particular period. So back in the days, it would have been a hassle to get this kind of a report. Now it is there available on your fingertips via the SAP ERP system. So regarding the sample collection, it basically used to be a written document on a CR book. So we have incorporated that and automated that to SAP ERP system, so that any sample that is sent to the laboratory for reports, you can trace it back to the day it was reported, the time of the report, the tanker maybe. So all parallel document flows are being maintained with respect to sample collection. So again, the sample discarding process, even it was not non-existing during the manual days. So we have taken up to that level with the ERP system implementation, that is LRMS. So we know how a sample has been originated and what the test went to the sample and what are the lab reports related to that sample, and what happened to that particular oil sample and how it has been discarded. So this is the sample collection report, what I was talking about. What are the types of samples, where did the sample originate, what is the reference of the sample, so from which tank, who has done the particular sample, when is the discarded date, whether it has been discarded or not. The whole life cycle of the sample that is being sent to the CPSTL laboratory has their document flow in a digital format, in a reporting format. which is accessible via the SAP ERP system. So let's talk about the strength of this system. So we have increased the security of the system. These lab reports can't be tampered. So it has been authenticated. Only the SAP users and the relevant users with authority can enter the data, view the data, and generate the reports. So whatever these reports, they are kind of online and real time. So once the data is available in the system, it can go under change. So back in the manual days, once you have printed the report and you have done a spelling mistake or a human error, it can make a huge difference. But since these things are automated, the details or the reports or the data is online and real time. And we have improved the data availability and efficient circulation. Data is available via the system. If unlike the scenario of manually printed reports, system backs up its own data, and it's even can be taken up even after a disaster. We have got a disaster recovery center for SAP ERP system. So the data is pretty much available and secure. And we have provided SMS and email facilities for circulating these reports. We have got a enterprise SMS solution and an enterprise email solution integrated to the SAP ERP system. So these lab reports can be circulated via them. Then we have taken up to the next level where the operational staff can be shared with the mentioning information, so that once the lab report is available, they can make their decisions whether to unload the tanker or maybe do a resampling or maybe schedule their staff for their rosters and come up with the operational planning. As I've mentioned earlier, we have a lot of reporting abilities improved. We have got age analysis, we have got the vendor evaluation, we have got the historical data. We are even planning to have reports on maybe sulfur emissions of the petroleum products and come up with many other reporting abilities. We even have the ability to analyze the vendors who are the suppliers of the petroleum product and how their products over the time has resulted in, how their specifications have been changed or not. Then we have placed the mechanism for analyze the performance of the people who are doing these, the analysts who are doing these particular tests at the CPSTL laboratory. So we can analyze their performance or review their performance as well. So as I mentioned earlier, we have got a digital repository of product specifications related to the petroleum imports of the downstream petroleum industry. So talking about the limitations, again, this system may be vulnerable to human errors as the data or the inputs are being done by the analyst, obviously humans. So there can be, if the input data is incorrect, obviously the report may go wrong. So the best solution is like to integrate the laboratory equipments, the well-priced equipment at the CPSTL laboratory to this particular system, so that the reporting data of those laboratory equipments will directly be linked and integrated to the system, so that the results will be more accurate. We surely hope that the laboratory reporting management system at CPSTL, as well as the downstream petroleum industry of Sri Lanka, has been automated and they have been taken to the next level. They have been secured, they have more backup, they are more available, and it has been better than where it was. So I hope that we have been able to throw some light on the matter where the automation process of the laboratory reports and the processes we have taken and how it has been automated regarding the CPSTL laboratory automation process. Thank you very much for keeping your eyes on me for my abstract review. Thank you very much.